Howdy, and welcome to the first and last edition of Sports Science with Obi. That's me. To further analyze how physics relates to our everyday lives, we're going to take a look at how what we've learned from Mr. Schnell affects and is true when playing the game of football. Football is commonly referred to as the most violent sport due to the high-speed collisions that happen in some plays. Our initial reactions are, whoa, and that dude just got rocked. But what's going on here scientifically? Each hit you see in a game has a total amount of force. The player that has the greater amount of force will be the one that delivers the blow per se. This can help be explained through Newton's laws. Newton's first law of motion is that for every object in a uniform state of motion must stay in that state unless an external force is applied to it. So unless a player tackles another player, the person with the ball is just going to keep running and score. Newton's second law is that F equals ma, where the acceleration, a, and the applied force, F, are vectors where the direction for the force vector is the same as the acceleration vector, meaning that the direction that a player is running is the same direction that their force is moving. Newton's third law of motion is that for every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. So when a player hits another, the reaction is that the player initiating contact will either take the blow, or more commonly, they will deliver the blow, meaning that they will have more force than the player that they're hitting.
.37 to go. Oh my, hit in the backfield.
Let's take a look at that one more time in case you blinked.
37 to go. Oh my, hit in the backfield. It's timing.
What you just watched was All-Pro and future Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis knife in and stuff then Chargers running back Darren Sproles for the Ravens to win the game. This play was talked about as being the play of the game for how big of a hit it was and how crucial it was at that point in the game. But let's take a look at what went on scientifically. Ray Lewis is listed at 6'1", 240 pounds, while Darren Sproles is listed at 5'6", 190 pounds. Lewis starts off by slowly increasing his speed from rest to about 2.458 meters per second in the 5 yards that he is lined up away from the ball. By giving himself this running start, Lewis gives himself a slight advantage over the Chargers' offensive linemen that are still at rest in their stances. Once the ball is snapped and everyone begins to move, Lewis accelerates and increases his speed from 2.5 meters per second to about 3.52 meters per second, covering the 4 yards that are in between himself and where he makes contact with Sproles. Looking at Sproles, he is at rest until the ball is snapped, already putting himself at a disadvantage. However, he is able to accelerate to 3.02 meters per second. In the 3 yards, he's able to move before Lewis meets him and creates contact. Lewis hits Sproles with about 259 newtons of force. This is much greater than the 211 newtons of force Sproles possesses, so you can see why the play resulted how it did. The collision between the two players amounts to a whopping 471 newtons of force.